Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsey. Over the last week or so, I have shared some great card ideas that you can make with one set of supplies from the April 2024 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Delicate Wings. Today, I'm sharing with you my fifth and last alternative card idea. The projects from this kit creates a total of 9 greeting cards, 3 in these 3 different designs. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create these projects or see any of my other alternative cards, you can click on the playlist and I'll link it up here in the top right corner. Today I'll be using the last piece left from the kit, the large white cardstock with 2 butterflies on it. We'll be using masking and stamp off, stamp on techniques to get this kaleidoscope of butterflies. Isn't that a beautiful name for a group of butterflies? I just love it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. You can do that using the link in the bottom right corner. Let's go ahead and get started. So to create this kaleidoscope of butterflies, what I did is I actually did remove the gold foil along the outside edge. And I did that because I knew that I was going to be stamping off the cardstock piece, and I didn't want to stamp beyond the gold foil edge. It didn't quite feel right to me, but it could work for you. So depending on if you want to keep that edge or not, that's totally up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim it off. And to do that, I'm just going to trim maybe like, I think I can get away with 1/8 of an inch on each side, because all I need to do is just remove just the smallest bit to just take off that gold foil edge. So yeah, it looks like 1/8 of an inch works perfectly. Okay, so that gives me a final piece that is just under 3.5 by 4 and 5/8. And so I'm going to create a border with some basic gray, and I want it to be 1/8 of an inch bigger. And I have this scrap piece here, and it looks like it's just wide enough on the width, but I need to cut a little bit off of the height. So let me figure this out. So if this is this tall, how tall is this? Okay, so we've got 4 and 5/8, and this is 4 and 6/8. Yeah, so it's just 1/8 bigger. So then if this one, so 3.5, so I just need to go to 3 and 5/8 on this one. And that should be perfect. So that's just basic gray cardstock here that I'm using. So we're going to put that basic gray off to the side, and we're going to stamp on our butterfly piece. Now to do this, you're going to need to use the masking technique so that you don't stamp over any butterflies. So I have 2 masks here. I have one that's a half a butterfly, and I've just used the masking paper from Stampin' Up, and then I have a full butterfly. Let's go ahead and get one more. So you're going to use masking paper. If you want, you can stamp on it and then cut it out, but I just decided to use the butterfly die cut that comes in the Thanks and Beyond add-on coordinating dies. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut one more from this masking paper here. All right, so I've got that. So let's start with the gray, and then we'll do the other one. So you're going to have to remove the paper backing from the masking paper, and then you'll just lay it over the previously stamped image. And it's not going to be perfect, most likely, and you're going to get slight halo because it's just a little bigger too. But that's okay. Don't let it frustrate you. It's just a fun technique that's going to give us this really beautiful look. You are also going to need your Simply Chamois or another way to clean your stamps in between colors. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to use this one here. So I don't actually stamp over my beige, so I'm not worried about that. I do need to grab my basic gray ink because I'm going to do this one first. And you can use any color combination here. I'm just, again, going off of the colors in the mixed color butterfly that's already printed on this paper. Okay, so that's kind of where I've started. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this. It's okay if it comes off of the cardstock a little bit. Nice even pressure all the way around. So it's going to look something like that. And then when you remove the masking paper, you can see that you get this look where you have a butterfly in front and a butterfly behind. That looks really good. All right, so then let's do our Moody Mauve butterfly next. And I'm just going to use this to cover up. So the printed butterfly here is a little bigger than that mask, but I'm not worried about it. And I'm going to take my Moody Mauve ink. Again, if you don't have it exactly, you can use different colors. And I'm going to add this over here on the right, or on the left. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to clean up any little ink that's on my glass mat. Okay, so those are the 3 or 4 main colors that I'm using. And then all the other butterflies are going to be stamped with a stamp off, stamp on technique. But this is just what we're going to start with. And I wanted these darker butterflies to have a similar look as this multicolored one. So what I did is I grabbed 4 of my Stampin' Write markers. And the colors I have are Crumb Cake, which kind of go with that beige. I have Basic Gray, Lost Lagoon, and my Moody Mauve. So if I'm using it on the Moody Mauve, then that's the color I don't use, and I use these 3 colors here. And the same goes with the other 2. So let's go ahead and start with this one. I like using the fine tip for this, and you're just going to really quickly, don't be too serious about this, just add some color inside these openings. Okay, try to do it so that they are the same on both sides. So here I've got my crumb cake, and I'm going to add a little bit on that side, maybe this opening here, and this one here. Okay, and then a little bit of Basic Gray. Okay, and again, it doesn't have to fill in the butterfly. You can leave a lot of it white, but we're getting that same look as the beige butterfly here. So then let's go to the Lost Lagoon. So these are the 3 colors I'm going to use. Let's start with the Moody Mauve. And I can kind of do these in different areas than I did with the other ones. Doesn't have to be the same. Okay, so something like that. And then do the same thing with the gray one. So all 3 colors without the gray. Let's see. All right, so all of those butterflies are colored with a really quick and simple technique. So now let's go ahead and do our stamp off, stamp on. I do need to grab some scratch paper for this, so I'm just going to use the leftover paper from that envelope, and then of course have your Simply Chamois close by so that you can switch between colors. I'm using the large butterfly, but maybe it'd be fun to also add some of these little butterflies too. So let's do that because I didn't use this in my previous cards. Okay, so let me just think really quick. So if I have that one there, let's go ahead and do that. That's going to be Lost Lagoon. And so this is why I separated one set, is because you need to make sure that the butterfly, the big butterfly up here, is covered at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to go also cover up this side just in case it gets on that side too. There. You can see that it leaves it open, so if you want to, you can cover it up with this one. So you gotta have to layer for that big one there. I don't think I'm worried about this middle section. Let me do this one again. Okay. So we're going to take the stamp that we want to use. We're going to grab our Lost Lagoon ink and ink it up, then stamp off. And then you're going to add a warm breath to kind of re-ink and get some moisture back into the color. And then you can stamp that onto your cardstock. So that looks really nice. And then while I have this open, I'm going to use the large one. Let's do this. Let's move this guy down just a little bit. And grab another one for this Lost Lagoon. Hold on. There. And we're going to do another stamp off, stamp on with the full butterfly. Oh, what am I doing? Here we go. So stamp off, and then I think I'm going to have this one stamp right about there. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay. You know, let's go ahead and do another one of these butterflies here. Maybe I'll put it right there. We'll do it in pink this time. It's fun to be able to play around, change things up to be however you want them to be. So we're going to ink it up in Moody Mauve, stamp it off, add a little more ink there if you're worried about it. Stamp that one right there. And then I'm going to do one in Crumb Cake, which is the color that's as close as I have to this beige color here. And we're going to clean up a large one, ink that up, and then we'll stamp off. And then add it. Kind of want to add it, let's see, like this. Okay. All right, so really you can make these look however you want. If you would also like to, you can add some of the splatters. That might be fun. I didn't do that to the original, but maybe I'll do that now. I'm going to use just crumb cake and kind of just add a little bit of splatters here or there. I'm not doing a ton of splatters. Okay, that looks good. Don't overwhelm it with too many. So it's going to look something like this when you're all done. Another fun technique that I wanted to add to this card to give it a little more interest is a center pop-up. So to do that, you're going to take any label shape, and I'm using the one from the Thanks and Beyond add-on kit, and right in the center, I'm going to cut this out. So it's going to look a little something like this when you're done. So you've got the hole in your background and then the piece that we're going to pop up. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your die cut and we're going to create a border for this main piece. And I'm going to take the die cut and a pencil, and I'm tracing around the outside of the die cut. And then we're going to take a pair of paper snips and cut right along that edge or that line. And that's going to give us a nice thin border for our label. I like to flip it over so I don't have to worry about the lines. And then just double check that it fits nicely. And then you can add it with some adhesive. And then just try to make sure that the border is the same all the way around. There might be some areas where it's a little thicker or a little skinnier, just depending on how close you stayed to that line. And then we're going to take the basic gray piece that we originally cut at the beginning, add a little adhesive to that, and place that in the center here. And again, it's going to have a small border. And we're just mimicking this small border on the other piece as well. Okay. So it's going to look something like this. Then we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals. And just cover it up. And the images should kind of overlap a little bit so that they look like a full image. It's a really fun look. And then I'm going to add that to the center of a card base with dimensionals. And the card base that I'm using here is Smoky Slate. So it's going to look like that. And the greeting I'm going to use is the Everything Will Be Okay from the stamp set. I'm just inking that up with the basic gray ink from the kit. And I'm going to stamp that right in the center of a piece that's about 5/8 of an inch by 3.5 inches. And then I'm going to flag the ends. And I just do that by cutting up from the center, from corner to top. And repeating that on the other side. And then I'm going to add this to the center with dimensionals right there in the middle of all those beautiful butterflies. And then just to add a little touch of bling, I really love these iridescent rhinestones. I think they might be retiring at the end of this month. So If you can still get them, definitely grab yourself a pack. They are beautiful. They're easy and versatile to use on so many projects, and they're just my favorite. I'm really sad to see them go. And I've just added 5 around my greeting and throughout the butterflies, and my card is all done. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this beautiful kaleidoscope of butterflies. If you're interested in getting written instructions or close-up images to how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you would like to subscribe to get your own paper pumpkin kit, you can do so using the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day.